Do you like monkeys? Do you like children? Do you like nature? Do you like your health? Well, palm oil threatens all these things. You might be asking yourself, what is palm oil? Well, palm oil is a type of vegetable oil made from the fruits of palm plants, commonly grown in very tropical climates such as southeastern Asia. It can be found in many of the everyday foods that we eat regularly, like cereals, baked goods, protein bars, candy bars, butters, creamers, and many other items. Um, it's recently picked up its popularity in the United States due to, and according to EcoWatch, the recent rise in the use of palm oil in the U.S. food industry has resulted largely from changed labeling requirements that have caused companies to go away from using trans fats. So now that they don't have to use trans fats, they've opted to go for palm oil. Also, palm oil is cheaper than these oils, so companies save money. And this might seem like it's harmless and everything, but it actually is very bad for the world in many ways. The first way it's bad is that it is unhealthy. It has a lot of saturated fats, which are bad. It causes people to be fat, as in the name. And obesity already is an issue in America, and this is just making it worse. It raises cholesterol level, blood pressure, and it increases the risk of heart diseases. According to Healthline in their article, palm oil, good or bad? One study was conducted in women with high cholesterol. It showed that the levels of small, dense LDL, which is the type of cholesterol found in heart diseases, increased with palm oil consumption, but decreased with other oils. So palm oil gave a better chance for people to have heart diseases than other oils. And according to the food expert Marion Nestle, author of the book What to Eat, palmitic acid is a type of saturated fat that makes up the fat in palm oil. She goes on in her book that this fat is especially adept at raising cholesterol levels and that palm oils are decisively worse than butter because of this reason. Some people argue that palm oil is healthier because it has less saturated fats than other fats. Like according to Harvard Health Publishing, palm oil, which is 50% saturated, has a more favorable composition than kernel oil and coconut oil, which are more than 85% saturated fat. However, just because it is not as bad does not make it a health food. And yeah, so they argue that since there's less fats in palm oil, it makes it healthy, but that's not the case. And also, palm oils give a better chance of having heart diseases, so I think that makes it the worst. The next big issue on why it's bad is that in order for them to grow palm plants and to produce these, land must be cleared to use for the oil, and that results in deforestation. This is commonly occurred in Indonesia and Malaysia. And according to the U.S. National Library of Medicine, a recent analysis found that 45% of land in Southeast Asia currently used for palm oil production had been forested back in 1990, including more than half of all palm oil plantations in Indonesia and Malaysia. The next big issue that, a few issues that are caused from deforesting rainforests is the first issue is that it is harming animals. The deforesting is destroying the animals' habitats, and this makes it so that these animals don't have shelter and that they're easier for poachers to hunt and kill. One of the animals that is impacted by this the most are orangutans. Orangutans are already endangered, and 1,000 to 5,000 are killed yearly due to palm oil industry. And this is bad because orangutans are essential for rainforests because many of the rainforest plants, in order for their seeds to germinate, they must be eaten by an orangutan first and then excreted, and then they won't germinate unless that happens. We learned that from Mr. Poppinga. And then, so without orangutans, then the seeds won't germinate, and then the rainforest can't reproduce and grow. So that is a big issue. And then there are some other animals that are also endangered. Like 1/3 of mammal species are endangered in Indonesia because of this. And there's other animals such as Sumatran tigers and sun bears who are being harmed by this. The next reason why deforestation is bad is because it is harming the environment. When they deforest it, they do it by burning wood and undergrowth. And this has a greenhouse effect that occurs from all the smoke in the atmosphere. And the greenhouse effect is a scientifically proven process where gas in the atmosphere absorbs and then emits radiant energy. And this is bad for the environment. And then the next bad reason for palm oils is that there's unethical labor going on. Like child labor is occurring, and some kids are working as early as 8 years old. Unsafe work conditionings are happening, like it's very intense labor and very hazardous conditions. Women also work in these palm oil plantations, and according to Amnesty International, women are forced to work long hours under the threat of having their pay cut, paid below minimum wage, earning as little as $250 a day in extreme cases, and kept in insecure employment without pensions or health care. And some people argue that these plantations are actually providing jobs for these people, so it's good. But these jobs are more like slave work than actual jobs with the terrible conditions they're in, so they don't really help anybody. And then governments also are more focused on their own economic gain, so oftentimes they give away land that belongs to indigenous people to these palm oil industries so that they can produce palms, and then these indigenous people land is taken away, so they don't have anywhere to go, and then they're forced to work at the plantations. Some solutions to this are that companies can use other oils instead of palm oil, since palm oil is not an essential ingredient. There's already one company doing that. Last year, consumer products powerhouse Unilever announced plans to use 3 million gallons of algae oil instead of palm oil in an effort to lower its environmental impact. So they can use oils like algae oil, which can do the same thing as palm oil in foods, and it doesn't require any land to produce, so it's not harming the environment, and hopefully there's no unethical labor occurring too. So that's just one example of alternative oils that could be used. And then we can also refuse to buy products that contain palm oil to make a stand. In conclusion, palm oils, it's harming the animals, it's harming our environment, nature, children, and your health. So say no to palm oil.